Hi there, my name is Samantha Davidson, and this is my ETG interaction number 1. So over the past couple of weeks as we've been reading, I think the biggest thing that stuck out to me is the need for professionalism as we're presenting, like for me, I'm doing a workshop. That any family life educator, that really is very necessary. And one of the key parts of professionalism that stuck out to me was that the lesson or the class or the workshop or whatever it may be needs to be effective. It needs to be able to reach out to a target audience. And as we were reading about that, that just kept popping up over and over and over again in our readings. And that reminded me of the importance of serving and reaching out to the one. And that reminded me of the scripture in Matthew 25:35-36. And it says, "For I was an hungered, and you gave me meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. Naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came unto me." And so that just reminds me, like each of those things, they were sick and they got visited. They were naked and they were clothed. The needs were met. The people who were sick weren't clothed. The people who were hungry weren't given a visit. They were given food. And so I thought it's critical to follow that example as family life educators, and we need to make sure that we are reaching out to give service that is needed versus just random service or service that we think might be good. And one way that I thought maybe we could, or that I could do that and implement that idea in my workshop, is by having a question and answer session to help kind of tailor the workshop to the audience. And then if there's a question that I can't answer, then I can maybe obtain contact information, like through an email or something, where I can get back to that person with an answer later after I've done some more research. Another way that I thought I could do this is also by allowing some flexibility through a schedule lesson, by not just going through the motions, but by interacting with the audience and creating a safe and comfortable atmosphere that allows for open communication. That way people feel comfortable enough to ask questions, and also to share personal experiences and things that they have learned. And then also I thought a way that I could check to see if I have been able to help the target audiences by having a survey at the end, just to see if they thought things were helpful or things that they would recommend for future classes. And then also with the effectiveness, I thought it was really interesting that one of the first things that were mentioned was not just to teach home remedies or armchair theories, but to teach things that have been scientifically proven. And I think that as we do this, then we really show that we're taking family life education seriously, because as we take it seriously, that makes it easier for those that we teach to take it seriously as well. I also thought that a part of the professionalism that was interesting was the presentation of the material is also important. It reminded me of a teaching class that I had taken at church, and one of the things that was taught, it was from the manual Teaching No Greater Call, was a story about a mission, like a zone conference, where I think it was Elder Packer or something like that, brought in this cake, and on the cake it was this beautiful 3-tiered cake, and on the cake's top it was inscribed the gospel with the icing, and it was this beautiful cake. And so he asked, "Is anybody hungry?" And so one of the missionaries, he was like, or the guys are always hungry, so one of the missionaries raised their hand and they're like, "I'm hungry." And so he grabbed a handful of the cake, squeezed it in between his fingers, and threw it at the missionary. And everyone was kind of shocked. And then he was like, "Is anybody else hungry?" And funny enough, there were no takers. And it was kind of the same way, is we can either throw things at people, or we can gently cut the cake and serve it on a platter so that it looks a lot more appetizing, because it's the exact same cake, it's the exact same lesson, it's the exact same material, but how we present it really makes a big difference. Another part of the professionalism that I'm a little bit concerned about is the marketing. But what I was thinking is some things that I could do is maybe make colored flyers, and then make like an effective sound bite that goes inside them, just a quick little snippet about what our program is and why people should be interested. I also thought that a good way to market is through the library, the public library, because they send out emails to those who visit. And so that might be a good way to reach out to the public, or even maybe through the extension office. But that was a question that I had. Can you market through the extension office? This is a good I don't know, just a question that I had. So if you have any thoughts, please respond in the comments below. Some other things that I was able to really think about on the past couple of weeks were just strengths that I have and strengths that I hope to gain. Some strengths that I have are public speaking. I really feel comfortable with public speaking just because of a lot of practice that I've had, especially when I feel like what I have to say is beneficial or what I have is prepared. I'm able to feel a little bit more comfortable and speak comfortably. I also love working with people and able to create a learning atmosphere where people feel comfortable. And so those are some skills that I think will be able to benefit me as a family life educator. But some things that I hope to gain is confidence in answering questions. That's one thing that I'm a little bit hesitant towards is just answering questions that maybe I won't have an answer to. And so just being able to say, you know, I don't know that, and being humble enough to say that and say, hey, you know, but I'll get back to you. I'll do some research and I'll get back to you. I helped also gain marketing experience and experience communicating with an assortment of people because we're really going to get a large range of different people at the workshop. So it'll be a good experience, I think, to be able to communicate widely. Also, one of the questions was about what we'd like to focus on. And I think I'd like to focus mainly on primary and secondary education. Primary because it's a little bit more lighthearted. It's prevention. It's not here's always already being trouble seen, but it's prevention so that people can stay and remain happy. And then the secondary is also, I think, desperately needed because it's the next step. There are some issues that are being seen, and then with the secondary education, I would be able to help them from becoming like a very critical issue. Also, I think I fit more with like the collaborative approach because I'm more comfortable with more of like being a facilitator, but also having a little bit of structure because there's just enough structure to keep the flow going with flexibility to reach out to the individual, and that's something that I think is really important. But I also think that each style, teaching style, is useful in its own turn, and using different styles helps to prevent dull repetition, you know, but it provides interest and it allows you to reach out to different people who learn differently, and it also gets different aspects across. Like with an expert style, you teach and clear up myths, you talk as an expert, but a critical inquirer helps the audience to obtain personal reflection on their lives and how they can better their circumstances. Also briefly, I just wanted to go over some of my personal beliefs and also some of my self-described responsibilities, I guess. One of the beliefs I have is that people want to be happy. They want to be happy and they'll seek that happiness. Another assumption is that people are generally good and they really have good intentions, although sometimes while their hearts may be in the right place, their hands can be clumsy. And so that's what we're here to help is to help steady those hands. Also, another assumption is that each person has something to offer, and as I approach each person with that, then I'll be able to learn what it is that they do have to offer and to acknowledge that. And that's really what everybody really wants, is to be acknowledged that they have something that they can contribute that is worthwhile. And then as far as the responsibilities that I believe are mine is that it's my responsibility to provide correct professional guidance and to utilize the time that we have wisely to benefit the audience, to motivate. And in theory, I can provide a push. I can provide a motivational class, but it's in the end the responsibility of the listener to act and to follow through. So things that I can do to help follow through is by preventing questions and working on the presentation, and having different discussions and activities and honing different skills. But in the end, like what I want to be able to do is to create self-sufficiency through emotional or physical, so that they're able to stand on their own, and I don't become a crutch, but I become a way that they can heal, and then they can eventually leave that and stand on their own. And so that's just what I've been learning over the past 2 weeks. I really loved it, and I hope you guys enjoy.